I guess I'm going to make a video of me doing some reloading. I'm not really set up for video, so it's going to be kind of sloppy, but you can get a gist of how I do it. The first thing, I don't use vibratory tumblers. I use actual rotary drum tumblers, and it comes in two. I could show you, but it's in a dark area, so I keep it in the hallway. It's pretty quiet actually, but I don't know. It's just a little bit of white noise that I'd prefer not to hear. But basically, these spin on a rack. So we'll go ahead and open these up. I'll do one just so you can get an idea of what it looks like in the media that I use. I use crushed walnut, and I've heard things like you can put brasso in there and so forth. Let's see. It's going to be kind of hard to do this one-handed. And these are 9mm, so I'm not going to be using these, but I'll go ahead and separate these, and then I think the other ones may be 45 or 223 brass. I don't know, but anyways, I just want to get these out of the way. So that's what it looks like. I had a whole system and set up, but I moved, and now I have to do these by hand, which sucks, but that's the first step, cleaning your brass. I just took some more dirty brass and stuck it in the tumbler with the media, the crushed walnut, and I'm in the light here, but it's a little piled over, but I'll put this top on it and just shake it around, and soon it'll get all the shells will get filled up, and it'll kind of just bring the top down closer. Alright, the second drum was filled with 40 cal. Which I'm not reloading at this time, but I'll still keep the brass because I plan on reloading it one day. So I'll go ahead and they don't have a high polish on them. It's just clean. Okay, so here's my press. It's a Dillon 550. There's a few components that I want to go over. You know, I don't know all the technical terms, but a few things that you're going to need. I went to Home Depot and got some extra bins, so I'm able to get a little more control over my mess. It gives me a little more organization. I'll go over all this here, but you're going to need a scale. That's most important. That's really most important. This is my bullet puller. Whenever I forget to put a primer in, or primer doesn't go through, but you get a complete bullet, you can actually put your bullet inside here and then whack it, and it separates the bullet from the brass. So right now I'm doing 45. This is a 45 ACP setup. Oh, I also have a 9mm, and I made this here. So it's my complete set for 9mm. This just sits on top of a bolt, and this is one of those, I think it's like a trim piece, ornamental trim piece that you find in the wood section of Home Depot. I just drilled a hole, stuck this in, and keeps everything together. It's really important to be organized, even though I don't look organized here. I haven't set everything up yet. But get my scale. I'll have all that set up when I get the camera put away. And primers, brass. My bullets are down here. I haven't got those set up either. But let me get all this fixed up, and I'll get started. One more thing, you're going to need a reloading book, or 2 or 3. So you don't want to write this information down that you get off the net and try to use that. But let's see how much this book cost. $29.95. And anyways. Okay, I've got my scale 0. Everything's at 0 right now. That's how I always start out. I want to make sure that it's zeroed. And I've got my what is this? 200 grain brown nose flat point, and so the last 2 things, I need some powder in my powder container, and I need some primers. And this thing is an alarm whenever this thing runs low or out. Every time you use it, every time you place a primer, it'll drop each time, and then finally when it gets too low, it'll set this alarm off. That way you're not making ammunition without the primer. That does happen. And so I'll pour the powder. I'm probably going to cut all that out. I got this for $20. I like to know the prices when I see people doing videos. Oh, just take this top off. Take your bottle. I'm gonna get crazy with it tonight. I don't want to put too much in there because you don't want to expose your powder and all that stuff to the environment. So close everything up as quickly as possible. I'm not gonna put the whole thing in there because I'd be pouring half of it back because I'll be sick of doing rounds. So I'll just keep that right there. What else? Oh, I'm gonna have to set up to stabilize the camera to show you how to do primers. Okay, so you're a little upside down inverted. It's looking straight down at the desk. But you go ahead and get your primers. Just slide them out. Well, this one has a few out of it. Okay. And then you'll take this, put it over, and flip it. And you'll take your top, put that over, and flip that. Then you take your little primer tube, and one end has a little cotter pin on the end so that you can pull and release, and the other end is just a little open area with a it's got some little cuts in it, sleeves in it, so that you're able to pick up with some friction, and then you just start sucking them up. Then you're going to place your tube over your primer setup, your primer tube, and you're going to pull this cotter pin, and they'll all go down except for one. There it goes. Alright, I couldn't find a good way to mount this, and man, it's really dirty right there. Got some powder. See, that's from a primer that didn't get set, and my powder dropped off the back end. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to slide in a shell. And it's kind of hard to do this one-handed, but I'm going to get the case shaped and deprimed. Go ahead and push it all the way down, and then down here, once I'm pulling out, a primer is right there, and I wish this thing had light. Go ahead and push it forward, and this should be primed. You want to make sure that this is seated flush. So we stick it back in. And I'm going to do one now, since I think everything's still set up from the last time I did it, but just in case, I'm going to drop some powder. And this is the important part. Wow, where's my... Okay, so we'll take this and grab my scale. And we're going to measure 4 grains. And this is what I'm looking at right here. The ceiling fan's on right now, so it's going to be really bouncy. Crap. Okay, turned off the ceiling fan, and we are zeroed. And you adjust this little knob right here to 0. That's it. So I'm going to go ahead and take the powder that we dropped, throw it in our little scale, and we're going to add okay, so I have my four grains in there, and that is pretty much zeroed right there, so that's good. And we take this here and put it back in. Get every little grain in there. And then we'll take this case back, stick it in, slide over to the next one, take you a bullet. You know what, actually, I shouldn't have put the powder in this one. I should have dumped it out. Actually, that's what I'll do. No, I'm going to go ahead and set it. But at this point, I want to set the round. You kind of want to pay attention to what you're doing when you're doing this kind of stuff, when you're reloading, because me messing with this camera while I'm doing this is, I don't know. So at this point I want to go ahead and get my caliper out and measure my overall length and so forth. So be right back.